gonna take you with me on a journey that I've been dreaming to do for years and years and years, and that is search for Atlantis. I had to trust the unknown, follow my intuition, and go with the flow of the universe. And after years and years of research and following the guidance that was sent to me, I finally found Atlantis. My journey takes me to Africa, and more specifically, North Africa, Morocco. According to Plato, the Atlanteans lived outside of the Pillars of Hercules, which is modern-day Gibraltar and Ceuta. These 2 points, and Plato said that the Atlanteans lived outside of the Pillars of Hercules, which means in this area right here. Without complicating things, if you think clearly about it, you can see that the closest land to this area here is North Africa, Morocco. And I was drawn to explore this area because the mountains are named the Atlas. They're named after the king of Atlantis himself, Atlas. And here is the Atlantic Ocean, which was also named after the king of Atlantis, Atlas himself. So I decided to explore this area of Morocco right here, the Atlas Mountains. Sources of this huge river that goes across Morocco. It's called Omrabi, and I'm going to the sources surrounded by the Atlas Mountains. The road was so windy and dangerous over there because I came across all the way from the top of that mountain to the bottom, and the road was so windy and dangerous, so you had to be really careful, but it was so much fun. I feel like I'm in some sort of movie. Why Atlantis? Because it's the origin, it's where everything started, it's where everything ended as well. But why has it become a myth? Why many human beings around the world, including myself, have been obsessed with finding Atlantis? What I'm going to share with you is based on my own experience and the research I've collected. So this is not science, and it's not backed up by any scientific proof or evidence. It's all about discernment and resonance. These are really cool, almost in the heart of the Atlas Mountains. This is one of the most prominent areas.
It is 42, 43 degrees Celsius. I'm in the Atlas Mountains, Morocco, North Africa. Look at these beautiful mountains right behind me. Unfortunately, there was supposed to be a huge waterfall right at the see that area that's like white over there. You're supposed to see like a huge waterfall there, but unfortunately it's all dried up because of the heat, and there's not as much water as before. And Morocco has built a lot of dams too, and that's why the water is not here. The energy feels great. This could have been some area where the Atlanteans lived before, or modern day Amazigh people. They're still here. I met this beautiful Amazigh woman and she's making me Moroccan tea. She kept calling my name to come to have Moroccan tea, and I'm excited. She's making tea right there. And she gave me this beautiful water because I was so thirsty. It's such a delicious water. She was saying they bring it from the top of the mountain, and she said there used to be a lot of water back in the day, and unfortunately the water has dried up.
Her energy was very grounding, and I could feel the stillness that she carries with her. Growing up her whole life in the Atlas Mountains, there was this feeling that I've met her before. She offered me a piece of bread, which is very valuable in these areas as a source of nutrition. We sat there together as if we have known each other for years and years.
This is a cave, and it's in the Atlas Mountains, Morocco, and it's so cool. Outside is about 40 degrees, 42 degrees Celsius, but it's so cool in here. And it's basically a verse from the Quran that says that everything that comes from water comes alive. Everything that comes from water is alive. Wow, so guys, I just had this water and it's from inside the mountain, and it's one of the most beautiful, delicious waters I've ever had. It's so delicious because this is the water that never sees the sun. It's never saw the sun, so it's so... You can literally drink it. It's better than tap water. This is pure spring water right here. Literally one of the best orange juices I've had. Sweet and so delicious. Some oranges. I just want to show you the variety of land that exists in the Atlas Mountains. You got the hills, you got the mountains, you got greenery, you got all sorts of things. You got them all. Beautiful trees. What you see here behind me are these, there's some olive trees here and other variety of trees, as you can see. And if Atlantis was here, I can understand why Poseidon chose a land like this that has a very fertile soil, which is, these regions are very fertile for agriculture. It's known around the world. And mountains and beautiful water that comes from the mountains. I understand why Poseidon decided to create Atlantis and settle in these areas. That makes so much sense. The puzzle fits together, the dots connect. What do you guys think? In the search of Atlantis. Behind me the Atlas Mountains, but they're all so foggy this morning. The drive is windy still. Look at the road, it goes all around the mountains. And then those are olive trees. This area is full of olive trees everywhere. And again, I'm gonna take the road in the search for Atlantis. It's very hot. It's another 38 degrees, and it's just the morning. It's only 10 a.m. and it's 38 degrees Celsius. It's gonna get to 45 later on, but the views are spectacular. They're amazing. And all the cars right behind me going, and everyone is traveling to their destination, as you can see.
The only historical texts we have about Atlantis are from Plato himself in his works Timaeus and Critias. Now, most people around the world think this is just a myth. It's just a story made up by Plato. However, the world has since been obsessed with finding this mythical land. I want to bring your attention to what Plato mentioned in his text, because there's some very intricate and interesting details. First of all, he said that 9,000 years have elapsed since the war that happened between those who were living outside of the Pillars of Hercules and the ones who were living within them. Pillars of Hercules here are modern-day Gibraltar and Jebel Musa in Ceuta. As you can see here in the map, these are the Pillars of Hercules that Plato mentioned. So Plato said 9,000 years have elapsed. Plato also mentioned that Atlantis was greater in size than Libya and Asia combined together. But back in Plato's times, Libya and Asia were depicted very differently from what we have today. This is the world map drawn by Herodotus. Libya was basically North Africa, including Egypt. Back in those times, they thought that that's all there is. They didn't think that Africa had a southern part to it. According to Plato, Atlantis was bigger than Libya and Asia in this map, of course, combined together. So can you imagine the immense size of Atlantis? That means that it was as big as a continent on its own, which is quite fascinating.
So I had a very good night of sleep because I was really exhausted from the amount of roads, the amount of windy roads across and in the middle of the Atlas Mountains that I had to take. There's so many roads, they're very difficult to drive, they're very narrow, and let's get going. Look at this beautiful view that reflects North Africa. This is the town of Beni Mellal. The sky is so foggy. Apparently where I'm pointing my fingers right now, there's mountains, but you can't see them because there's so much fog. Again, outside the temperature is over 40 degrees Celsius. That's just the temperature nowadays in Morocco. And this is the month of, mind you, July, and it's not even August. In August it's gonna get even hotter. So it is very hot. I like it, but it gets really rough sometimes because it gets really, you feel like you're walking in a sauna basically. I barely experience this heat anywhere else in the world. This is like intense heat. Feels like Africa. All right, let's go explore. So I just arrived here and the road was closed. As you can see, they're doing a lot of construction. This is a beautiful view behind me of the Atlas Mountains. Now I'm going more into the depth of the Atlas. And as you can see, I have to go back down to where I came from over there. They're doing a lot of constructions and take another road. And hopefully that road is not closed, hopefully. The guy who's guarding behind me, he's all day long on the sun, 42 degrees, 43 degrees. He asked me if I had some water, and luckily I had a lot of water with me, so I gave him a bottle of water, a big one, the liter-and-a-half one. I had an extra one. The guy, I mean, he's outside all day long doing his job. I gave him also some fruit, some nuts that I shared with him. It's a hot day and he's there all day long doing his job, and I respect that. That's really, really awesome. All right, let's take the road and see where we're gonna continue our adventures. Hi guys, I just stopped here for a little bit to share with you these incredible views that I'm witnessing here. It's foggy, but you can still see the mountains from behind me, and even they extend all the way there, but you can't see them. The road is so crazy dangerous. It's so windy and the car is getting really dirty. I don't know if you can see because of the dust, because the road is really not the best. That's basically the road I'm taking. It's a very, very narrow road. Good thing I have this SUV because it's elevated, so I can see when I'm going around the edges.
But how was Atlantis created? How was it formed? Who created it? According to Plato, he said that Poseidon, the god of the sea, storms and earthquakes, happened to have children with a human woman that he fell in love with. He had kids with her, and they were half god, half humans. So here we can see clearly a detail that many people dismiss or forget, which is the fact that Poseidon decided to build the island of Atlantis to settle with this human woman, and he decided to surround Atlantis with circles of land and water equidistant from each other. The purpose of adding water was to prevent humans to get to the island, because back then, more than 10 or 12,000 years ago, humans didn't know how to sail yet. At this point, I realized that I was lost. I was trying to get to the place where I was going to spend the night, but it turned out that it was in the middle of farmland. There were no paved roads or signs or anything. There was no phone or internet connection, and I just had to figure it out on my own.
Hey, I'm gonna show you more of this as I arrive where I'm supposed to stay. But wow. Very. We stay in the mountains. Look how small those people look like walking.
After driving for about 10 to 15 minutes, in the middle of farmland, I finally reached my destination.
These trees with the thorns. This is so cool. Some nice peacocks. Hello. Peacocks. See? And then just me. There's nothing around. I'm staying in that house that you see over there. I'm supposed to go to that road over there, and after that road I'm gonna find the lake. As you can see, this is crazy. Atlas Mountains. I'm heading to the lake. There's no civilization, barely any humans, only the farmers around here are the ones who live around here. And this is turning out to be the Atlas hike. Whew. Wow. Again, it's 42, 43 degrees Celsius. So what you see behind me is the lake. Can you guys see it? Right there. So I'm gonna try to go up that hill to see if I can get a good view, because the lakes look stunning. I'm not really wearing hiking shoes, but see this hill? It looks close, but I'm pretty certain it's far. There's a lot of things to uncover here, because I want to get closer to the water. I'm running out of breath and I'm really thirsty. This amazing view. There's a lake. And here is the lake. There it is right there. It's amazing. That's Beauty Down Lake. It looks like heaven. It looks like a heavenly thing on earth. There's some boats there that you can take you for rides. It's in the middle of the Atlas Mountains, like literally in the middle of, in the heart of the mountains. This week is kind of foggy, so you can't see the end of the lake or the mountains behind. But can you imagine behind it's all mountains as well, but the fog is hiding them. I'm on top of this hill in the middle of nowhere, literally. There's no civilization around me. There's not even no roads. It's just farmers here. The energy is amazing. There's fertile land that is good for agriculture. Maybe not here, but around these regions. There's a lot of water, and you have mountains. Atlantis was known for having these 3 criteria, which are necessary for life, which is basically the water, the mountains, and the hills, and a fertile soil, fertile land for agriculture. The truth is hidden in plain sight. It's in front of everyone around the world. The Atlantis that everyone is looking for is North Africa, and specifically Morocco, the Atlas Mountains. Atlas because it was named after the king of Atlantis himself. His name was Atlas, and he was the son of Poseidon, and that's why the Atlas chain, the Atlas mountain chain, was named after him, and the Atlantic Ocean was also named after him. So Atlas, Atlantic. Why there's no remain of the civilization? Well, first of all, because it's ignored. This area of the world is ignored, North Africa, and specifically the Atlas Mountains of Morocco. Other than the Amazigh people that live around here, who are so hospitable, nice, sweet, kind. These people are the sweetest people I've met in my life. the Amazigh, the natives, who are actually the descendants of the Atlanteans, other than them living here, this area is ignored. It's not known, no one knows about it. I would guarantee you that if people start excavating these Atlas Mountains and start looking deeper what's underneath the ground and in the mountains, the amount of artifacts, the amount of monuments we can find in the Atlas Mountains that can date back to Atlantis times would be amazing. But this area is ignored by the world. No one cares about this area, and everyone is caught up into thinking Atlantis have sank somewhere, and it's somewhere underneath the ocean. It's not underneath the ocean, the land is here, but the water washed everything away because of the flood that happened. So the civilization was washed away, and usually when the water washes over, what happens? Sand, dirt, earth covers it. That's why Göbekli Tepe is being excavated from underneath the sand, because it was buried under the sand. And my theory is that Göbekli Tepe was also buried under the sand because of the flood, because the archaeologists and scientists, geologists are going crazy trying to figure out how was the whole city buried underneath the sand. This answer is always simple. I don't know why people humans are the masters of complications. It was buried underneath the sand because there was the flood. The flood that happened. All the cultures mentioned, the flood of Atlantis, the flood, all the Bible, the Quran, Judaism mentions it. It's mentioned all around the world. That flood covered a lot of civilizations. It buried them under the sand, under the dirt, under earth. Pyramids, the Sphinx. The Sphinx was buried under the sand. Go check photos from that dates back to the 18th century. The Sphinx was underneath the sand. They had to dig it out to show all of it. So Atlantis, we are on Atlantis, we live on it. It's the Atlas Mountains, North Africa, Amazigh people. It's here, but everything is buried underneath the sand, underneath the dirt, underneath the mountains, underneath the hills. That's why we don't see that civilization anymore. But you can see the remnants of it in the culture. If you see how the Amazigh people dress, and their jewelry, and their craftsmanship, and their art, it's mind-blowing. There's something about it that says Atlantis, something unique. Their language, check the alphabet of the Amazigh people. It looks so different from any other alphabet, even different than more the difficult languages like Arabic or Mandarin or Japanese or Hebrew and so on and so forth, or Russian. Their culture is it's full of craftsmanship and art and beauty and respect to nature as well. You have everything in front of you. Everything is in front of your eyes. Everything is right there. Ladies and gentlemen, it was named after the king of Atlantis himself. Come on. How can people miss these super straightforward details? I myself missed them, and I laughed at myself after I realized it. I'm like, why was I going crazy trying to figure out? Anyway, I'm gonna show you, hopefully, unfortunately, close-ups of the lake, because I want to go near it later, but it's so hot right now. But I like it. I would take heat over rain and cold any day of the year. So beautiful. The air here, away from people, away from civilization, you can feel that you're breathing clean air. Very, very clean. Very clean, because this area is untouched. I think tomorrow or later I'm gonna try to hike all the way closer to the water. But I have to be prepared. I have to have some water with me. Alright guys, peace. Head into the lake called Bilmidan. As you can see, there's literally nothing around me. I'm walking by myself. It's very, very hot. It's about 43 to 45 degrees Celsius. And I feel like I'm in a movie. I feel like it's some sort of adventure, because that's what's behind me and that's what's in front of me. And I'm basically where I'm walking looks like a road, which maybe used to be a huge lake. You see, it looks like water used to run in here where I am, and it dried up over the years, over hundreds and hundreds of years. It dried up. Something like, this is so spooky. You literally feel like you're stuck because there's nothing around. It gets spooky sometimes. Like some demons come out, get to introduce each other and become friends. Because I'm a demon myself. So I'll keep you posted. That's the road. Look how far it extends. It goes all the way. It's probably gonna be a 1 hour hike before I get to the river. Maybe 1 hour. So let's see how it's gonna go. So windy. Little crossing there, and then go there, and go up to the hill. So, but I want to touch the water first. Let's go touch the. Oh, this is a love. See, this is what you see here. It's not solid. Once you step on it, it could be either water or mud. So I'm not gonna do that. It smells weird too. Lovers, there's frogs everywhere. There's tiny frogs everywhere. These are frog nests. Look at the frogs jumping everywhere. I hope I'm not stepping on them. It's like the frog houses. How am I gonna go there? Really? So I was told people cross over there. Because I don't want to step there. Maybe over there.
If it wasn't for the place I stayed at in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of farmland, I would have never been able to enjoy these sceneries. I was wondering, how did I even get here? Then I realized that I was guided by the universe. I was opened to receive guidance from my higher self. Visitors and tourists do not reach this area. It's very hidden and hard to reach. I'm grateful I was able to witness heaven on earth.
jinns exist. They must be from here. This is the kind of area that's infested with jinns and demons. Look at the ruggedness of the area, and I like it. I feel at home. I gotta find my way back to that little boat. That's where I jumped. By the way, like remembering the way back through these kind of like vast lands of mountains and hills is actually super hard, because it's hard to track back yourself. You know how many times over there in the mountain, in that huge hill, I was lost so many times. I'm like, wait, how do I go back? How do I go back? And when you look at it from here, you're like, oh, it's easy, you just go straight. But once you're there, everything starts looking the same. It's like in the desert, and you don't know which way to go, and it becomes really, really confusing and hard to track yourself. Heads up for that, you know. But I have a really, really good sense of direction. Like for me, any city I go to, or big or small, New York, Tokyo, Japan, or small, tiny, I'm pretty good at remembering just from the first time, max 2 times, and then I remember it right away. Like, so I have a good sense of direction. It helps me even in areas, in vast areas like this, where everywhere kind of looks the same. But I think for other people, they might struggle to even find the way back if you don't have a guide with you or something. Okay, so I gotta make my way over there. Found it. All right, first of all, test the waters. Test that you can actually step on these things and go to the closest point where you can jump from. So I think I can just basically, whoa, okay, all right. Okay, gotta be fast. Because all of underneath this kind of dry grass, it's like grass, it's soft but it's dry at the same time. I've never seen this kind of vegetation before. It's underneath, it's actually all mud. It's muddy, and frogs, tiny frogs like this live there. Probably snakes too, but they go way underneath. But yeah, as I mentioned, jinns, demons, if anything, believe it or not, the second highest peak in Africa is also in the Atlas Mountains. I'm planning to climb it. It's 4,167 meters. 4,167 meters. And halfway through the hike, okay? And I hope I'm gonna be able to share this with you in a video. Halfway through the hike, okay? There's this area that's called Sham Harouche. It's a tiny village. It's a tiny village inhabited by the Amazigh locals in that Mount Toubkal. Halfway through, this area is called Sham Harouche. It's literally named after the king of the jinns of Morocco, and his name is Sham Harouche. Why that tiny village is named after him? Because most of the people that live there worship him. They worship him, they do offerings for him. So they have some hostels for people who want to spend overnight there, for the hikers halfway through. And a lot of weird stories and folklore has been said about this. And the view is amazing because it's a super high mountain. And it's also kind of like this, it's rugged, it's rough terrain, you know? It's a rocky mountain, it's very rough. It's not like green and beautiful. It's kind of beautiful, but in a very dark way. It's a dark beautiful. And it is said, the legends say that people hear weird screams at night. They hear weird rituals, people do rituals. There's this huge rock that's painted in white, and they worship him near that rock. And you hear women screaming at night. There's many people doing sacrifices. They slaughter sheep for Sham Harouche, for the king of the jinns. And yes, it is happening in Morocco. It's one of the culture and tradition of Morocco, and it's one of the things that has coexisted with the religion that's in this area. It's coexisted and it still exists, and it did not disappear. In fact, just 2 days ago, in one of the places I stayed at in the heart of the Atlas Mountains, I had a poltergeist experience. I'm gonna share it with you in another video specifically on just about poltergeists and my experience with poltergeists and what I went through. But it happened to me just 2 days ago. The soul, before it comes reincarnates, it comes from somewhere. My soul comes from the dark, from these entities. That's where I was before. That's why I'm just not scared. Look at the beautiful moon. Oh, you can't see it in camera? Hold on. No way. The camera can't capture it. Oh, there it is, there it is. That's the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the moon in the Atlas Mountains of North Africa, Morocco. How beautiful is that? While doing my hike. I love this place, it just gives me so much powerful energy. But yeah, both poltergeist experiences I've had are intense. They're very intense. And when I do some research and I try to figure out what it is, not only I figure out that it's possible, I figure out that for most people it's scary. I just don't get scared. I don't. This stuff doesn't scare me at all. I don't know. It's part of my existence, you know. It's part of who I am. The moon again. All right, guys, on that note, stay tuned. I'm gonna show you the next beautiful areas of ancient Atlantis, Atlas Mountains, North Africa, Morocco. Behind me, the beautiful waterfalls of Ouzoud, the biggest waterfalls in Morocco, second biggest in Africa. I'm sweating because it's so hot, but it's amazing. It feels great. 43 degrees Celsius, and these views are breathtaking. And I'm so proud and honored to share this with you. To the waterfalls. There. Wow. I'm literally being soaked wet. Me and my friend Ismail here. He's an amazing guide and an amazing friend. He was showing me around everywhere in the Ouzoud area. He knows the area by heart. If you come here, make sure to come find him, and he's gonna give you the best tour around the Ouzoud Falls in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco.
Welcome in Ouzoud waterfall.
Thank you, thank you. He's welcoming you. He's awesome. And here's their grandpa. He's right there. Oh, they're so friendly. They're just doing their own thing. They're friendly. They're chilling in the tree. Very, very, very cute. Just living. These animals know how to live. Way better than human beings. Hey buddy, what's going on? this beautiful bed. Look at this beautiful tiny living room. This is royal. Look at the roof. Look how cool it is.
I took some time and relaxed in this beautiful Kasbah Riyadh.
Well,
I had to replenish my energy, eat, and relax because I had a long drive ahead.
another day in the search of Atlantis, and I just stopped in the middle of the road because I've been driving for 2 hours straight and I'm pretty tired. And I stopped here to stretch my legs. Look at these walls. Looks like someone was trying to build something here to stay in it, but they abandoned it. Look at those beautiful mountains behind me. I think those are the end of the Atlas, because right now I'm heading to the beach. I'm heading to the coast of Morocco that has beautiful beaches that are all on the Atlantic Ocean, on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. It's about 42 degrees Celsius, and I'm by myself in the road, as you can see here. Look how empty the road is. But I had to take a little break. In 2 hours, I still have another 3 hours to go in the search for Atlantis. Incredible view. It's amazing. The Atlantic Ocean. This is breathtaking. It's just in the middle of the road, and it shows you the vastness of nature.
The road was quite long and tiring. At some point, I didn't even know where I was going. The road was so narrow, there was nothing around me. No city, no village, no people, and I was starting to get a little bit worried. I felt like I was transported into a different dimension. And to be honest, starting from this point, everything started feeling like if I was on the planet Mars. There was a lot of yellow, orange rocks and soil everywhere. It didn't feel like Earth. It was such a mysterious feeling, and I knew that I was going to uncover something different. I found this nice bed and breakfast last minute. I had to book it literally from the car, and I was lucky enough to speak to the owner over the phone just before I took off. I was told that they had an available room, and I was so relieved.
Good morning. Well, that's a beach. I'm gonna walk from there, and then go there.
I was not planning to come to this area, but for some reason my guardian spirits spoke to me and I felt guided. I felt drawn to drive further south. I didn't know what to expect, because even when I spoke to the locals, I realized that a lot of people who live in Morocco have never been to these areas. So I took a leap of faith and decided to explore what's ahead.
Behind me is one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever witnessed in my life. It's very different from other beaches that have turquoise water. People tend to prefer those kind of beaches where it's calm, it's good for swimming. I myself like them for swimming. But why is this one of my favorite beaches in the world? It's because of the power it has. Look how powerful it is. There's this area called Mirlift, and it's straight up the Atlantic Ocean right there. And the power it emanates is amazing. You feel this crazy energy. When I say the Atlanteans were here and this was Atlantis, I'm pretty certain about it. The resonance is crazy. Look at it. I invite you to look at the power behind me. There is no sun. It is hot. It's not cold, but there is no sun. And the waves are so powerful. And look at the rocks behind me, these huge rocks. Look how crazy they are. Atlantis is right here. And I'm enjoying it at this moment, and I hope you're enjoying it with me. And later on, I'm gonna go to the beach over there right behind me. That beach that you see right there. And maybe swim. It's so cleansing. I feel recharged just by standing here. And that rock right there is gonna be my meditation rock. Gotta be careful. Woo. Wildflowers growing just like this. This beach is unbelievable. Not good for swimming though, I gotta be honest. Look how crazy the waves are. No one is swimming because you don't want to swim there, it's dangerous. You can maybe swim right here, just right there, and that's it, that's about it. Because if you try to go all the way there, you're not coming back for sure. The Atlanteans had many races. Many gods lived in Atlantis, including the ancient Mesopotamian gods, the Sumerians, right? The Anunnaki, who are basically the ancient Greek gods. They're the same thing. It's just the Greeks took all of these ancient gods and made them their own and changed their names, and they basically twisted the stories a little bit to make it their own. But those are all the same gods. Look where I'm walking. I don't even know where it ends. You can see it ends there, but it looks so far. It looks like I'm walking in some sort of heaven or something. For example, Enki, many say that Enki is also Thoth in the Egyptians, right? The Egyptians had their own versions of the gods too, but they're all the same. And Atlantis, this is the land where these gods, they genetically modified and created humans. Mind you, the gods were giants. They were very tall. They were at least anywhere from 9 feet tall minimum to 15, 17 feet tall maximum. To them, these waves are a child's play. They were huge. They were strong. They were masters of magic. Magic to them was like science. It was normal. The elements of nature, like water, fire, earth, air, they were masters of these elements. They could play with them and control them. Not like us. They lived for thousands of years. Their lifespan was about 1,000 years each. You would live anywhere between 700 and 1,000 years. There are others who live longer, but they were like the priests. Like nowadays, when you meet some people who are very wise and very healthy, they could live up to 120 years. So they had some exceptions too, just like us. I'm not saying that Earth doesn't have other similar areas or places, but the energy exhibited by this place is phenomenal. The perspective of time, for example, to a dog, 15 to 20 years is a very, very, very long life. To an insect, 2 days is a very long life. Maybe for an insect, 1 minute is 1 year. So for an insect, 2 days is an eternity. That's why their perspective of time is very different. For a dog, 15 to 20 years is an eternity. Same for a cat. For a cat, 10 years is an eternity. For humans, 100 years seems like an eternity. For the gods who lived on Atlantis, well, to them, 1 year feels like 1 hour. Can you wrap your head around that? It's perspective, but perspective comes with size. It correlates, size correlates with perspective. The bigger, the more giant you are, the more time will seem different for you. And I mean considerably, like the size when it's considerably bigger. Not, you're gonna tell me, well, someone who's 6 feet tall, are you saying that someone who's a basketball player who's 7 feet tall perceive time more than someone who's 5 feet tall? No, because we're still in the range of between 5 to 7 feet tall. It's not a big difference. I'm talking about much taller, much bigger. Starting from 9 feet tall, you know? Starting from. It means someone short is 9 feet, you know? And it said that they were so attuned with the elements of nature that they were able to browse dimensions and see these creatures that live in other dimensions that we can't see. For example, dragons and fairies and mermaids and ghosts and spirits and jinns and demons. They were able to, well, actually demons, that's a different subject, because many of these people portrayed as demons in the past, they were the gods themselves, like Lucifer and so on and so forth. For example, right now, nowadays with humans, only the gifted ones, the witches, the mages, the alchemists, the people who are intuitive, the sages, are the ones who can perceive these ghosts and spirits, right? Back then it was everyone. They knew they lived on different dimensions, and to them it was like such a normal thing to do. It's like, yeah, okay, I know, that's a ghost, that's a spirit, they live on their own dimension. Look at this beautiful cave right here. Should we go discover it? Look how huge these rocks are. Look, I don't know if they can translate in the video. The video makes them look small, but they're actually massive. I'm gonna get closer so you can see perspective. The rocks are, this is just one, it's massive. The water usually comes all the way here. And the little shells that live here. See the shells? They're everywhere. All of these black areas there, it's shells. It looks from far away, it looks like just a mold, but it's actually all shells. Isn't that beautiful? And talking about caves, caves are where most spirits and ghosts and jinns hide. And this is where most ancient sages got their enlightenment. It is known that a lot of prophets, including for Islam, they say that the Prophet Muhammad got enlightened. He got the message of God inside a cave because he used to go and meditate there for years and years. Look at this gorgeous cave. This is the best church. It's the best cathedral. It's the best mosque out there. Look at this. Nature itself can be your place of meditation and worship. Why do humans build little buildings and consider them as as divine, as something like this? I'm sorry, but this is divine. If this is not divine, I don't know what is. Look at this. This is real divinity created by Mother Nature itself. This is one of the smallest beaches in the area, and there's many of them. And this is one of the tiniest one. So I'm at the end of the beach, literally. So I think it was about, as I said, a 30-minute walk from end to end. The energy is spectacular. At nighttime, the water covers all the way up there at nighttime. See the little shells? Ooh. Whoa! All right, water reached my knees, almost. I gotta get out of here before I don't mess with the Atlantic Ocean. I don't mess with Atlantis. For anyone who wants to meditate and just get look at this cave. If you can just sit there, let me show you. Let's go a little bit deeper. So if you can just sit there and meditate and listen to the water. And I'm blown away how no one litters here. Maybe they have people cleaning up these things. And the color of these rocks. Wow. All right, for all the crystal lovers, for all the crystal experts, what is this? What do you think this rock is? Because I don't know. It's orange and it has this kind of texture. What do you think it is? Let me know in the comment section. Filming this in July. So imagine they say in spring or fall, it's even emptier. So there's less people, less tourists, and it's even way more powerful. Like, I'm not sure if you can feel it, but this is like the metaphor I want to give you for this. It almost feels like it's an unlimited, ginormous hub, huge reserve of energy. Okay? You know, we're not talking about physical energy, we're talking about emotional, mental energy that you can only feel. It's unlimited, it never runs out. And thank you, Mother Earth, for this. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful energy. I understand why the Atlanteans settled here. Because you never run out of energy here. You don't run out of energy. It's always here. Another cave I'm gonna share with you, right there behind me. That's another big cave. A lot of people usually talk about points of energy around the world that are super high in energy. So one of them is the Pyramid of Giza. One of them is the Temple of Delphi, where the Oracle of Delphi used to live in Greece. No one ever mentions a beach or an ocean with high amounts of energy, which is very interesting. Yet, it's where the Atlanteans were living, the gods themselves. And if you come here, I feel like you can get cleansed. Spend here 3, 4, 5 days. You're gonna go back to your country and you're gonna be cleansed. You're gonna feel like that's it. All the mess that was in you is gonna go. It's gonna go away. Trust me. Look how huge this cave is. This is a massive cave. Okay, that's how big it is. See how huge the rock looks like in comparison to the people? That gives you perspective of how huge this place is. This is it. North Africa, Morocco, where Atlantis sank. This is the connecting point to the land that sank over there. Feels such a strong energy. I feel the spirits screaming for help. And this is the connection point. It's right here. This is where it happened. And that's why these rocks were crumbling. They're slowly crumbling apart. They're also saying that this rock one day will also fall, will crumble. There was a bigger one. There was another one that is even bigger, all the way there. And it fell. But this one is left here. Look at this beautiful. The energy here is unbelievable. The energy here is amazing. And this is probably where it all happened, right here. I kid you not, guys, I can't really speak.
As I was walking, I was feeling pain, anguish, sorrow. And I started to remember. I started to remember that this is where it all happened. This is where Atlantis sank. I was able to hear all of the spirits suffering and asking for help. They're still stuck in this area. This is one of the main points where the land broke apart from the African continent, where Atlantis sank. It's one of the major points. I could hear people suffering. I could feel it too, and it was very unpleasant. This was the second day I went there just to confirm the feeling that I had. And the feeling was consistent. This beach is inhabited by a lot of spirits, and they need help. They need our help. They need your help. Can you imagine them being stuck since the sinking of Atlantis for thousands and thousands of years?
I kid you not, guys, the energy that I feel here is so painful, so sad. I don't know if you can feel it through the screen, I don't know if you can hear me properly because the waves are really strong, but it's sad. It's very sad. I feel the spirits screaming for help. Many people sank here. This was the connection point between Atlantis that was here, or one of the main points of Atlantis, and the Atlantic Ocean right there. This is one of the big rocks that were connecting them. I'm not sure if you can feel the energy. I can't even speak properly. I can't even talk. I feel sad. I feel upset. I feel frustrated because when the land split, when the land sank, it happened right here. Right where you see it. That's where it happened. The split is where you see. That's the split. There and there. These rocks are huge. They're gigantic because Atlantis used to have huge people. Atlantis had giants. It had people that with a huge size. And that's why these things look really huge. But to them it was normal rock. As you can see right there in the opening, those little tiny dots, those are people. That's how huge this thing is. That's how massive, that's how crazy it is. And all I can feel is sadness. I feel sad. This is the core. I was drawn to come here. I wasn't even planning to come here. I just found out about this place. And this is where Atlantis sank. This is where it happened. Right here, right across the Atlantic Ocean. That's the Atlantic Ocean. Powerful and huge. And the part of Atlantis that sank is already there. And this was connected, and this was also Atlantis. And the inhabitants of this area, the souls that are here, are the... I'm sorry guys, I just can't. I feel like crying. I'm holding myself from not crying. Yesterday, I came here yesterday, I just was trying so hard not to cry. And got these beautiful rocks. And this area is full of caves as well. There's caves everywhere. beautiful pebbles. I'm walking on them. They're all so beautiful. Unfortunately, this area is not taken care of really well. It seems like people don't care. People litter, they throw garbage. No one can feel this energy. It's not maintained at all. People don't care. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking how people don't care about what I would like to call heaven on earth. The energy that this place have here, this is heaven on earth. The sad feeling is unbearable. I can hear the souls screaming for help. Everyone drowning. You can't beat the Atlantic Ocean. You can't beat it. It's powerful, especially at this point. But guess what? The Atlanteans, they also messed up. The Atlanteans messed up, and that's why they sank. That's why the island sank, because they messed up big time. And we might sink too, because we're messing up too. So we might sink as well. We have to be careful. And that was a huge tragedy. And about this area, and I hope you can hear me because it's very windy, is that it's full of caves. There's a lot of caves. One of the biggest one is actually that one right behind me, right there. That cave right there, let's go to it. Let's go check it out. Oh, right there. Caves give you that beautiful sense of peace. It almost like you can experience the universe by being inside the caves. Why do you think mosques and churches and temples and shrines are huge and they're empty inside? It's so they can emulate the feeling of a cave, because when you're inside a huge empty space and that's quiet, you get to experience the universe. You get to experience that peace that we're all looking for, right? Beautiful pebbles, but they hurt because I'm barefoot, but it's okay. The Atlanteans, I'm not gonna deny that they didn't do well. For an island to sink like that, the amount of atrocities they did, they were given everything. They were given all the amazing experiences of life, and they wasted all of that and started following their greed and experimenting on things that they shouldn't have experimented on. And oh, it hurts. Make sure you just wear something when you come here. I'm barefoot because I want to feel the land. Sorry, the rocks are crumbling. You see that? Oh my god. Sorry, rock. Oof. These rocks. Oh, no wonder these things are falling apart, because they're made of the same material. Wow, look at the composure of this thing behind me. You can tell that that's probably it looks like it's gonna fall. It's just a matter of time before it falls as well. So it's almost like as if Atlantis is still sinking up to this day and age, 2021. It's still sinking. It hasn't even done sinking yet. Because I guarantee you this stuff is gonna also fall apart at some point. I give it another 10, 20 years and it's gonna also fall. But now it forms a beautiful, beautiful cave. Let's go sense it. Let's go feel it. Look at this. I don't know if the energy can transmit through the camera, and I'm here early in the morning, so there's no people. When you come here around 3-4 p.m., this is packed. Everything you see here is packed with people, and it's distracting from feeling the energy. There's people with kids screaming, kids playing, and you don't even you don't get to experience the energy. Okay, I'm doing something really dangerous, which is walking on these rocks. Ouch. Whew. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it hurts. Wow, guys. Oh, what is this? Guys, are you ready to experience this majesticness with me? 3, 2, 1. There you go. Look at that. Look how amazing this is. Wow. And it's connected. See, this is another arch. There's the water there, that's the ocean water right there, and then the water here. And I'm gonna go there so I can show you footage of that area too. It's just everywhere. I wish I had my sneakers on, but I wanna feel the land. I'm already feeling it, but I wanna feel it even more. Oh, look how beautiful this arch is. And above me, see, if this thing right now, if it crumbles, if it just falls directly on top of me, I'm gone. That's it. Look how gorgeous this is. And what's behind me? Is it just the camera? That's what's behind me. How beautiful is this? Honestly, something here feels strong, and it's like I want to get that feeling of crying, and I'm not gonna cry. I'm just gonna do my best to share this with the whole world, with you guys, and you guys have to share it too, so everyone is aware of what happened, because Atlantis is the core, it's the root of the civilization. It's where everything started. It's where everything happened. It's where the humans messed up. It's where the humans did things they shouldn't have done. And we're still doing things we shouldn't do. And we're still polluting our planet. And we're still killing each other. We're still not having peace. We're still messing up the same way the Atlanteans messed up. Let's not destroy the beauty. This beauty, what's left over. Let's not destroy it. Let's not destroy it, because it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. What we have on Earth is gorgeous, and we shouldn't destroy it. We should not. I'm gonna do a little ritual just with my heart for the people who passed away, for the spirits that passed away. And I want you guys to pray with me for all the spirits that passed here, to relieve them, to release them from their pain, from the misery, and from the hardships they've been to. This was a very, very hard experience. And please, if you're watching this, this is for the Atlanteans who sank. If you think you're from Atlantis, and you're probably is from Atlantis, let's pray for them, because what I'm feeling here is very sad and strong, and I need you guys to put your energy as you see this video and send your energy here to release the souls of this land. You and me probably made it because we're reincarnated, but they didn't. They're still trapped here, and you can feel their pain. I can feel their pain. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Ancient Atlantis, right here, Atlantic Ocean, North Africa, Morocco. If you want to feel the energy, if you want to come see it, it's up to you. But I hope, and if not, I hope this video at least translates some of the feelings and the emotions that I felt. I hope you enjoyed this experience that I shared with you. I hope you can feel what I'm feeling as well. And please, just one last message that I have for you, for everyone. Please don't miss up Earth. Let's not miss up Mother Earth. Mother Earth, once she's had enough, that's it. She's gonna get rid of us. She's gonna get rid of us if we keep doing the same things, if we keep doing the same mistakes, and if we don't learn. She's not gonna put up with us anymore. Look at this beauty, because the magic that we're all looking for, the beauty, the magic, this is it. It's right here. We have it. It's right here. Look no further. It's right here. Thank you, universe. Thank you.
On the way back, I had a long drive. It was about 10 hours or more. With curfews in place all around Morocco, I decided to stay overnight in a small town halfway through. This small town, called Walidia, surprisingly had amazing beaches, and it was also the Atlantic Ocean. I started reminiscing on everything I explored during this journey and everything I've been through. And suddenly, I started doubting myself. I was thinking to myself, what if this is all in my head? Am I dreaming? Is this even real? Then I did what I usually do in cases like this, which is asking the universe to send me a sign. And then I just carried on with my day. A few hours later, as I finished doing some errands, I was leaving the parking lot. Then I randomly looked behind me, as if someone asked me to look behind over my shoulder. I didn't know why, but I just looked behind. And as I did, right in front of me, there was this cafe called, have you guessed it? It's called Atlantis. It was right there. And I realized right away that that was the sign from the universe. In my reality, that is my truth. That is what I believe. And that was one of the best signs I've ever received. It was so satisfying. And that's how I ended my trip, with this beautiful confirmation from the universe.